Tuesday morning beginner workout. So today we're going to be doing a lower body circuit. All that you need today is a chair and possibly a mat. I don't have my mat today, so it shows you don't even need one of those. The format for today is we're going to do 3 groups of 4 exercises in each group, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and we'll do 3 rounds per group. Fix that timer, hopefully it goes away. We'll start just with a little bit of warm up. We'll get some arm swings in there. We don't need to do these too much as we're doing lower body. And it's designed that the warm up is almost contained within the group. We'll do our hip hinge, push our hips back. We're gonna lay our hands on the front of our legs. We'll stand up. We'll back on our fingers, arms overhead. Trips to the side. Yeah. And we'll push our heads to the back and do that one more time. You know, the workout is a little bit built in, or the warm-up is built into the workout. Can't speak this morning, but that's what happens sometimes when you teach at 7:30. And then we'll just do our standing twist. Again, we're going to pull our elbows back, twisting through the hips, twisting through the torso, I should say. All right, we'll get into it. So our first group, we have our dynamic pigeons. We're going to be in a high plank position, and we're going to constantly switch sides on our pigeon pose. If you want to stand a little longer in this, you can go forearms, up, up. This is a little bit more challenging for some. Sumo squats, just like a regular squat, right? Except their feet are a little bit wider. Toes are pointing out. Hinge at the hips. Stand up. We don't get as much depth in our sumo squat. The legs won't let us. Sumo jumps. So we're going to go from that same squat position. And we're just doing a little hop. So it should be more sumo hops. Jumps. And then our figure 4. This is the one where we're on the ground. We cross our left leg over our right. Left hand through the hole. Pull through. We'll switch halfway. All right, so we'll start with our dynamic pigeon. So I didn't need to get up, but I did anyways. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. We're going in 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, we just cross the leg in front. I go down to my forearms, high plank position, switch sides. Again, you don't need to do that. You could just simply touch that back knee down, up, switch, back knee down, up, switch. Less than 10. All right, then we're on our feet. I'll show modifications for everything on round 2. Our sumo squats. Feet are a little bit wider, toes pointed out. Keep the chest up. I am not sure. Okay, I wasn't sure if my mic was recording, and I was a little scared there, but I can see it's going. Chest up. Hips back. And all the way up. Good. And we have the same position we're going to hang out in, except we'll be doing just our hops for 30 seconds. You don't need to spin, I'm just spinning to show you. These are probably the toughest. should have back-to-back exercises in the whole group, but I figured might as well get them out of the way. Nice soft tops, right? Shouldn't be making a lot of noise. Alright. And then last but not least, our figure four. Press my left over my right, left hand through the hole, right hand on the outside, pulling my knee towards my chest. If you want to use a band for this, you're more than welcome to. You would just put the band in between your legs, pulling your leg will switch, rather than your hands through the hole. You can use a towel for that as well, if you don't have a band. Alright, and that is round one done. I don't have my round counter up today for some reason, but we're into our dynamic pigeons. Right away. Go. Good. All right. So for our sumo squats, what we can do instead is you can grab your chair. And again, we're just going to sit into our chair and we're going to stand up. We can still have that same sumo position. Sit into our chair, stand up. Stand up. Back, chest up still. And when you're ready for a little bit more of a challenge, you just touch down, stand up. You don't sit. And you can use something a little higher, like I could use this couch. For our jumps, what you can do instead, you can take the jump out of it. And we're going into this little sumo squat and then up on our toes. I keep the same sort of depth of my squat, the same speed. I can always slow down if I need to. All right, and then we move on to our figure four. If you have difficulty getting on the ground, what I would suggest is try sitting on a chair. And we're going to cross our left leg over our right. And we'll just do a seated pigeon. At that halfway mark, we will switch. And switch now. I can give you a modification for the dynamic pigeons, but what I would suggest is we're done with those. What I would suggest is just switch, try to do a dynamic pigeon from the seated position. But flash around, right into it, right away. It's really flying. That's first round almost done. Timer seems to be sort of lagging on me, so I thought I started it on the 20. I might have started it on a 30. But we'll just go to 30 anyways. All right. We're up into our sumo squats, and I'll go back to regular and start on the 610. Again, position, right? Stays up. We don't get as much depth, but we still go as deep as possible. Toes are pointed out. Push my hips back, bend at the knees. Almost there. And time. All right, 10-second break. Then we go into our last sort of hard exercise of the group with our Sumo Jumps. Again, if you start to get a little bit tired or you don't like jumping, we just go into that, quarter Sumo Squat up onto the tippy toes like a ballerina, or we're doing the full jump. At any rate, done those. Finish with our figure 4. Left over to the right, conquer back, left hand through the hole, right hand on the outside. Switch sides. We'll hold this one a little longer. Then switch sides a little late. All right, excellent stuff. So for our group 2, we have our dynamic half kneel hip flexor. So what that is, we're going to be in this half kneel position. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, half kneel position there. I'm going to push my hips forward. I'm going to bring, so my right knee's down, my right arm comes up. I push that forward, and then I'm going to switch sides. Switching the whole time. I'll show you a different stretch if we don't want to be kneeling. I'll show that at the end. Actually, I have to show it now, just in case, because I know some people don't like kneeling, and that is perfectly fine. So what we'll do instead is we'll do sort of like a warrior 1, so to say, a dynamic warrior 1. So we'll go up, and we'll switch sides. You know what? I think I'm just going to change that to the normal there. Is that dynamic warrior 1. So I take that step forward, I push my hips forward, and then I'm just going to scoop my arms up, and we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to change that real quick. It's because I don't have my mat today, so I can imagine some people don't have mats, and that wouldn't feel nice, or they have problems. Oh. Here's the Wizard of Oz stuff. All right, and then we have our reverse lunge. So all we're going to be doing is we're going to alternate with our reverse lunge. On the front, I take a step back. The front leg is the loaded leg, so that's where I'm putting all my weight, is the front leg. And I just try to move opposite arm, opposite leg. If you need a modification on that one, I suggest just trying, getting into this reverse lunge stance. Maybe sinking a bit, standing up. That's if you need a modification. Bulgarian Hop is one leg on the chair, like that lunge position. I get in, and then it's just these small hops, right? If you need a modification for that one, just go ahead into that split squat stance. Maybe you're getting a little hop. Maybe you're just doing a split squat, going to your depth, your ability level. Last but not least, you need a wall for it. We have our standing quad stretch. So I grab my foot, my shoe up my laces, try to keep my knees in line, and pull my foot towards my butt. All right. We'll start with our dynamic warrior 1 in 3, 2, and 1. I step forward. Arms in line with my ears, switch back, step forward, scoop my arms up. And this whole time I'm pushing my hips forward, so I have this nice, straight, tall spine. Thumbs pointed back the whole time as I scoop my arms in line with my ears. Almost there. 10-second break, we go into our reverse lunge. Alright, so step back, opposite arm, opposite leg. Right, so with my left leg forward, my right arm comes up. And ideally, we want that back knee to go down to about 2 inches, an inch above the ground. Alternating through. Your own pace, you could be going a lot quicker. You could be going a lot slower. Right? Okay, so we'll set up for that Bulgarian hop. And yeah, I don't think this is as hard as the Sumo 2 together, but this is still a little challenging. Take your time, make sure you're landing properly. We switch out the halfway mark, which is real soon. Switch. And you're not sinking too low either. It's like a quarter squat. All right, done those. We have our standing quad stretch. Let's switch on that halfway mark. We're grabbing our laces, we're not grabbing our ankle. Try to keep the knees in line. Switch. And we're trying to stand up nice and tall. My balance just hasn't been good today, so I elect for the wall or something to hold on to, and that's okay. All right. Round 1 done. Going to round 2. Dynamic warrior 1, we're moving through it. Again, I step forward, I push my hips forward, I scoop up my arms, step back and switch. Almost there. Awesome. And our reverse lunges, start at 320. All right, we're moving through them. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And again, if you need that little bit of a modification, I would just step back, go into a bit of a quarter lunge. You're still using a lot of the same muscles, so you're going to build up a lot of that strength, but you might not be recruiting as many muscles as you could or getting the full benefit out of them. But you need to do what you can so that you can do the full workout and continue to exercise and not get injured. All right, we're into our Bulgarian hop straight away. And if you need a modification on these, I would do your split squats, a little hop, switch sides. Switch sides too, little hop. And again, you could just do, more of a plyometric style of thing. All right, standing quad stretch. I do have a band, so I'll show you something a little different. For those that, you can go ahead and get started. For those that find it difficult to do that stretch, whether for mobility purposes or whatnot, balance purposes, and you don't have something to hold on to, is you can grab a band. I just have this around the middle of my foot. It could even slide up to the ankle like it did there. And I can go in line with my ear, right? Let's go ahead and switch sides. We're a little bit slow on this, if you didn't already. Again, I just have that over my shoulder. Knees are still in line, and I'm getting that quad stretch. All right, we'll go right back into the dynamic warrior 1 at 5:30. A bit behind on that, but I wanted to show you guys. I know I've showed it before, but in case it's your first time tuning in. All right, last round. Dynamic Warrior 1, we're switching through them. Feeling that hip flexor, that trail leg stretch as I push my hips forward. All right, reverse lunge. Start at 610. And get rid of this guy now. Up arm opposite leg. Try to stand out of the window. I know I get a little bit lost in that bright light. I don't have my homemade curtain up. Again, the lead leg is what gets loaded here. The back leg is just the kickstand. A lot of people make that mistake when they're lunging. They think, you know, the back leg is a support, but you're not pushing off that back leg. All right, we set up for our Bulgarian split squats. And you can use that arm for a little bit of momentum through your jump, right? As you get a little bit higher, we'll switch sides. Never switch right on the halfway mark. It takes me a couple seconds to get set up, and that's okay. It's better to get set up safely and properly so you don't fall. Regain your balance when you need to. All right, we actually went a little over there. We'll start right away on that 7:30 mark. That Fanny quad stretch. Switch sides. You can see how in line my knees are based on, you know, it sort of disappears with the black pants. That's what we want. See, that's too far back, that's too far forward. Right there is where we want it. We're done with group 2. Group 3 is there. So we have our rocking butterfly. We will be on the ground for this one. Just seated. Heels are going to touch each other. And by the rocking part of it is I'm just going to move into it. Lean out. Lean in. Lean out. Side lunges, we'll just alternate through. If you want more of a challenge, you can do 15 seconds on one side, 15 seconds on the other. But we're just going to take that step. And you see with this, sometimes I do, in my warm-up, I do this little trail leg stretch. We're going to be doing that at the end. The difference with the lunge is you can see me. I sink into that lunge, push off, alternate, sink into that lunge, push off. Then we have our side shuffle for cardio. We're not going to touch the ground on this because we're going to keep it as a beginner exercise. So we're just going to get into our quarter squat position. So I push my hips back, bend at the knees, and we're just going to quickly keep our body square, shuffle to the other side. All right. So you know you don't need to go too fast. Just go at a pace where you can do it for 30 seconds and you feel you're working at that 7 out of 10. And then our side lean with shoulder stretch. Take that exaggerated step to the side. If I'm stretching my right side, I generally try to stretch my right shoulder as well. So that's the one that's going to come across my body, arm underneath, pull that arm towards your chest. Those are our 4 exercises, our last 4 exercises. We have about 8 minutes of work left. Start with our rocking butterfly in 3, 2, and 1. We're a bit behind today, but the glory of this is, you know, the cool down is sort of built into the workout with all of our stretches. So we're rocking through. I was sort of holding there for longer than I need to. I sort of slide my hands up and down my leg as I need to slide or to rock through this. but just trying to bring those heels a little bit closer to my groin as I do move through this. All right, then we're standing up for our side lunges, alternating side lunges. If you want more of a challenge, again, you can do 15 seconds on one side, 15 seconds on the other. But I just keep, my hands together. Maybe I'm praying for this to be over because my legs are hurting. But I more like keep them there for balance. Chest tight. Sink into that lunge. Toes pointed forward the whole time. They might try to point a little to the outside. Try to keep them pointed forward, and that will make you recruit more of the inside leg as well as the outside leg. All right, then we have our side shuffle starting at 120. Hinge at the hips, bend at the knees. Toes, knees, shoulders, all facing forward, right? I stay square the whole time to the front of the room. Just moving at a natural pace. I could certainly speed things up if I wanted to, or you could slow them down if you need to. Maybe just more of a quarters, squat with these steps. But the idea is you need to meet yourself at a level where you're at. All right, then we have our side lead with shoulder stretch. So I'm stepping to the left, right leg straight, right arm comes across my body. I'm just going to hold this. So I'm feeling a stretch here and in the back of my shoulder. And we'll switch sides. My left leg is straight, so my left arm comes across. I feel a stretch in my left groin and my left shoulder. All right, perfect. We're back on the ground. We're on round 2 with our rocking butterfly. So yeah, I slide my legs. And I'm just rocking forward and back, and you can feel how the stretch changes based on what position you're in. A little bit more intense when we're forward, a little less so when we're back. Yeah, 10 more seconds here. And you try to maybe pull those feet a little closer towards the ground, get a little bit more range of motion. Some people will be, foot to their feet almost. I have terrible range of motion on this, just based on how big my legs are. All right, then we're into our side lunges. We're there right away. Took us a while to get up. And again, I'm sinking in to this time. This time it's a lunge, it's not a stretch. You might still feel that same stretch in your trail leg. That's okay. Just so you can see how far I'm leaning forward. This is sort of the side view. Same rule as the squat, where my leg is my leg is going only as far forward, or my spine. I'm only tilting as far forward as my shin bone is. All right, we're doing our side shuffle, and again, this is more of that cardio move. So 30 seconds, move at a pace that you can keep up with, but that you feel good that you did you did a workout. Once 30 seconds is done, we got 10 to go. Perfect. Somewhere along the line I lost 10 seconds. That's okay. Slide lean with shoulder stretch. I'm going to stretch my left side this time first. My trail leg just stays straight. Pull back on that shoulder. Pull my shoulder towards my chest, I should say, you switch sides. I like to combo these stretches, right? Like we've been mostly doing, all lower body. But if you're here anyways, you might as well get a combo out of it. All right, on to round 3. Let's get started in 3, 2, and 1 with our rocking butterfly lunge. I didn't give a modification for a lot of these. Hopefully you're able to do most of these, even if the side lunge, maybe you're just decreasing your range of motion. All right, we're done those. We'll start on that 6-minute mark with the side lunges. And I'll show you what I mean by that decreased range of motion. So if you need to modify, if you found those too hard, what we can do is we can just, you can do a little quarter side lunge, right? I'm still using a lot of the muscles that I would use in a regular side lunge. I'm just not sinking as deep. And if this is your range of motion, that's perfectly okay. As I always say, you need to meet yourself where you're at. All right, we'll go to the side shuffle, 640. And it's sort of in the opposite vein. If you've been finding, these too easy and you want to make it a little bit more challenging, what you could do is you could reach and touch the ground at each one. That extra little bit of up-down movement is usually enough to elevate the heart rate. So you could go real fast. Right? It's all about finding a spot where you're comfortable with that at the end of the 30 seconds, you feel like you did a good job, you got a good workout. And last but not least, we'll start at the 720 mark. There's our side lead stretch. See, that's where you want to be out of breath. So I lead to the right, so my left side is stretching. Oh boy. I try not to push myself too hard just so that I can switch sides. I can still talk, much to the chagrin of many people. All right, and that is our workout. We sort of did our warm up and our cool down within our workout, and we are a little bit over time. So if you are feeling like you still need a little bit of something, I would just go through the last exercise of each group. So we had our figure 4 in group 1. We had our standing quad stretch in group 2. And we had our side lead with shoulder stretch in group 3. I would just repeat those. But we are over time. And I don't like to keep people. I hope you enjoyed the workout. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. If you haven't signed up for the Resilience Challenge yet, please do. There's lots of great things coming, including a Teams event that's happening tomorrow. It's going to be really awesome. But if not, I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a wonderful day.